3 weeks after my brain surgery, my wife walked into my hospital room, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "I didn't sign up to take care of a sick husband." Then she left. 10 years together. 2 kids. And the second I lost my job and got sick, she disappeared. But here's the part that still messes with me. The moment she heard about my military settlement money, she came back pretending she wanted our family again. And now, even after everything she did, a small part of me still wonders, was I wrong for refusing to take her back? I'm 39 years old now, and sometimes I still catch myself wondering if I was too harsh. Not because I miss my ex-wife. Not because I regret divorcing her. But because after everything that happened, a small part of me still hears her voice asking, "So you're really throwing away 10 years together?" And for half a second, I almost feel guilty. Then I remember the hospital room, the surgeries, my sons crying because their mom stopped coming around, and the fact that she only came back after she heard about the settlement money. So yeah, maybe I need strangers on the internet to tell me if I'm crazy. I was married to my ex-wife, Rachel, for 10 years. We got married young. I was 27. She was 24. Back then I was doing well financially. I worked a civilian logistics job that paid extremely well, and I was also in the military reserve. Life honestly felt stable. We bought a decent house. 2 kids. Family vacations. Barbecues with neighbors. From the outside, we looked like one of those couples that had everything figured out. But looking back now, the cracks were always there. Rachel never worked during our marriage. That wasn't originally the plan. She said she wanted to stay home temporarily after our oldest son was born, and honestly, I supported it. At first, I didn't mind. I was making enough money for both of us, and I loved coming home to my boys. But over the years, something started changing. Nothing was ever enough for her. Every raise I got turned into a new expense. New car, more expensive furniture, weekend trips, designer bags she swore were investments. If I hesitated on buying something, she'd get irritated and say things like, "Other husband provide without complaining." That sentence stayed burned into my brain for years. At one point, she got angry because I said we should slow down on spending after we took a vacation to Florida. She looked me dead in the face and said, "Why are you acting broke? You make good money." That was the first moment I realized she didn't see me as a person. She saw me as stability, an income, a lifestyle. Still, I ignored it because I love my kids, and because when things were good, they were really good. Then everything fell apart. About 3 years ago, I was on reserve duty when I started getting these brutal headaches. At first, I thought it was stress. Then I started blacking out randomly. One morning, I woke up unable to feel part of my left arm. I got rushed to the hospital, and after a bunch of scans, doctors found a serious neurological issue that required brain surgery. I still remember Rachel's reaction when the doctor left the room. Not fear, not concern. Her first question was, "How long are you going to be out of work?" I laughed because I genuinely thought she was joking. She wasn't. The military originally tried saying my condition wasn't line of duty related, which complicated everything financially. Suddenly my income became uncertain overnight, and Rachel completely changed. It was like a switch flipped. She became cold, annoyed all the time. Every conversation somehow turned into money. While I was preparing for literal brain surgery, she kept asking whether disability payments would cover the mortgage, whether I could lose the house, whether we'd need to downsize. I remember sitting in the kitchen one night, terrified out of my mind about surgery, and she was scrolling through her phone, barely listening to me. I finally asked, "Are you even worried about me?" And she sighed like I was exhausting her. "I'm worried about everything." Okay. But she didn't sound worried about losing me. She sounded worried about losing comfort. The first surgery was rough. Recovery was brutal. I couldn't walk properly for a while. I had dizziness, memory issues, constant nausea. I ended up losing my civilian job while I was still in the hospital. I'll never forget getting that phone call. I felt humiliated, like my entire identity disappeared in one moment. And instead of supporting me, Rachel started pulling away even more. She stopped visiting as often, Sometimes she'd leave the kids with her mother and disappear for hours without telling me where she went. One night, about 2 weeks after surgery, she came into my hospital room looking irritated. Not sad, irritated. And she said, "I can't do this anymore." At first I thought she meant emotionally. I thought she was overwhelmed. Then she hit me with, "I didn't sign up to take care of someone for the rest of my life." That sentence honestly hurt more than the surgeries. 10 years together, 2 children, and the second I became inconvenient, she was done. Within 2 months she moved out. I was still recovering, still going to appointments, still struggling to stand without getting dizzy. And suddenly I was also dealing with divorce paperwork. The worst part? She moved on immediately. And I mean immediately. Friends started quietly telling me she already had dating apps before she officially left. One of my buddies sent me screenshots because he felt bad for me. Her bio literally said, "Ready to enjoy life again." Meanwhile, I was learning how to function after brain surgery number 2. Then came surgery 3, then surgery 4. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I also needed emergency gallbladder surgery. That entire year felt cursed. I dropped almost 40 pounds. I looked terrible. I was exhausted constantly. There were nights I genuinely wondered if my kids would grow up without me. And through all of it, Rachel barely checked in. She'd pick up the boys sometimes, but half the time she dumped them with her mom anyway. There were weeks where my oldest son asked, "Why doesn't mommy come see you anymore?" Try answering that to a 7-year-old without breaking down. What saved me honestly wasn't family. It wasn't Rachel. It was a few close friends from the reserve and my older brother. Those guys helped me more than my own wife did. One friend drove me to appointments at 5 a.m. without complaining once. Another helped fix things around the house because I physically couldn't. That's when I realized something painful. The people who truly love you show up when you have nothing to offer them. Eventually, after almost a year of fighting, paperwork, medical reviews, and appeals, everything changed. The military reversed their decision and ruled my condition line of duty related. Then came disability back pay, VA compensation, SSI approval, settlement money. Overnight, financially, I was stable again. Not rich, but secure. The irony? That was the exact moment Rachel suddenly remembered I existed. At first it started small. Random texts. Just checking on you. Then, the boys miss seeing us together. Then, maybe we both made mistakes. I ignored most of it. But then she started showing up in person. And suddenly she was nice again. Too nice. She'd compliment my recovery, laugh at my jokes, ask if I needed help around the house. This woman couldn't sit with me after surgery, but now she wanted to bring me groceries? Come on. Then one night she finally said it. Maybe we should try again for the kids. I actually stared at her for a second because I couldn't believe the audacity. I asked, "What changed?" And she gave the weakest answer imaginable. "I was overwhelmed before." Overwhelmed. That was her explanation for abandoning her husband during multiple brain surgeries. I asked her where that energy was when I could barely walk, where she was when I got fired, where she was when I was throwing up after procedures. She started crying almost immediately, but honestly, the tears felt rehearsed. Then came the line that confirmed everything for me. She said, "People deserve second chances." Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "I failed you." Just, "People deserve second chances." I finally snapped. I told her, "You didn't leave because I got sick. You left because you thought I was broke." Dead silence. She tried denying it, but even she knew it was true. So I told her no. No reconciliation. No restarting. No for the kids. Nothing. And suddenly the sweet attitude disappeared. Again, like flipping a switch. She accused me of being bitter. Said I was punishing her. Said I'd change. And honestly, yeah, I had changed. Because nearly dying changes you. Being abandoned changes you. You stop confusing love with convenient. Now things are finally getting better. My health still isn't perfect, but I'm functioning again. I spend as much time with my boys as possible. I'm rebuilding my life slowly. And Rachel? Apparently her new relationships didn't work out the way she expected. D. Funny how that happens. But every now and then, usually late at night, I still wonder, did I become too cold? Should I have forgiven her for the sake of the kid? S. Am I the asshole for refusing to take back the woman who abandoned me during the worst year of my life, only to come back after the money arrived? D. So now I'm asking you, did I make the right choice? Ice? And if you've ever had someone disappear when you needed them most, let me know in the comments. I read all of them. And if you enjoy Reddit stories like this, subscribe. There are a lot more insane ones coming.